नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं अतुल जोशी आपका फिर से एएमबी न्यूज़ में हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। दोस्तों, एपिसोड शुरू करने से पहले अगर आप हमारी चैनल्स पर नए हैं तो ज़रूर से सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल आइकन भी ज़रूर से दबाइए, क्योंकि ये स्पेशली न्यूज़ चैनल है ओनली फॉर फोटो वीडियोग्राफी इंडस्ट्रीज़। कौन से एग्जीबिशंस कहाँ पर है, कौन सा वर्कशॉप है, कौन फैकल्टीज़ है, कौन से नए प्रोडक्ट्स आए हुए हैं, उसके कौन से नए फर्मवेयर आए हुए हैं, ये सभी इन्फॉर्मेशन हम आपको देते हैं। एपिसोड शुरू करने से पहले हम देखते हैं आज की हेडलाइन।
वंदन करूंगा गणपति बाप्पा, थैंक यू सो मच। वंदन करेंगे, बोलो गणपति बाप्पा मंगल मूर्ति। आशीष टीम के कैप्टन है, हाँ।
मैच की शुरुआत करने जाएंगे। मैच ऑफिशियल्स को भी बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं आज के इस सबसे बेहतरीन टूर्नामेंट की AIPTIA कप 2023 सीजन 25।
यूनिक 11 के बीच अंपायर से रिक्वेस्ट करेगा, थैंक यू सो मच।
25वें साल में हम पहुंच चुके हैं और पिछले 25 सालों में हमारे साथ साथ टेक्नोलॉजी भी बदल चुकी है, लेकिन हमारा काम और हमारा कर्तव्य वही है। अभी जैसे राजेश सर ने कहा कि आने वाले कुछ दिनों पर वर्कशॉप किया जाएगा। इट इज़ काइंड रिक्वेस्ट फॉर ऑल आवर मेंबर्स टू प्लीज़ अटेंड दैट वर्कशॉप, जहाँ पर आपको रील्स कैसे बनाने हैं, आजकल का जो सोशल मीडिया का ज़माना है उसमें किस तरह से आपको अपडेटेड रहना है, इसके बारे में सारा वर्कशॉप रहेगा।
मेरा ऑलराउंडर बढ़ी गया। अरे यार
जरूरत है 79
Come on!
धीरज भाई की बॉलिंग लाजवाब। धीरज की चैंपियन टीम को जरूरत है सिर्फ 43 रन की।
बस लास्ट मैच है, 2 मैच।
किरण भाई शर्मा, किरण स्टूडियो अंदर के ओनर और एनपीए के प्रेसिडेंट आपने बॉलिंग में टॉस जीतकर उसमें टॉस जीतकर बॉलिंग लिया गया है और वो दोस्तों सारे हीरो रहे हैं। आज हमारे अध्यक्ष सुरेश भाई शर्मा है, जितनी बड़ी टीम है, एवरीवन इस साल का ये सीजन बहुत बेहतर रहा है। सारे कमेटी मेंबर्स ने भी, स्टेट मेंबर्स ने भी बहुत अच्छी मेहनत की है सर। 25 साल के पहले की जो सोच और शुरुआत और आज ये परिवार 1500 से भी ज्यादा लोग हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं। सर क्या कहना चाहेंगे 25 साल का जो जर्नी है तो आप अपने शब्दों में किस तरह से बात करेंगे?
धन्यवाद। मैं यही कहूँगा जिन्होंने पहले 25 साल पहले सोचा था कि ये बने एमपीए, उन्होंने शुरुआत की, उनका एक ही लक्ष्य कि सभी मिल के साथ रहें और अपने एमपीओ को आगे बढ़ाएं।
खास वर्कशॉप के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, आज दिन भर मैंने कम से कम 10 लोगों के साथ फोन के ऊपर बात कर ली और आपने इंस्टाग्राम में और उसके ऊपर सबसे ज़्यादा देखा होगा कि 337K फॉलोअर्स वाला हरामखोर गणेश वनारे को हम लाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। अगर ऊपर वाले ने साथ दिया और वो आया तो ऐसा वर्कशॉप शायद एमपीए के इतिहास में नहीं मिला। ऐसा हम लोग वर्कशॉप करने जा रहे हैं 25वें साल में। हमारे ये सिखाने के लिए इसकी अवेलेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए हमारे फ्री सीजन में। हाँ, उसका इंस्टा आईडी का नाम हरामखोर है, उसका नाम है गणेश वनारे।
ये जो भी टीम है जो काम किया वो अच्छे किए।
नीलू भाई का ऑलवेज सपोर्ट रहता है, फाइनेंशियल फिगर में उतर जाते हैं, उनका हाथ सपोर्ट में रहता है। नीलू आप करो काम करो, मैं पीछे ऑलवेज साथ में है। और वो है कि फेयर क्रिकेट टीम बराबर है, फेयर प्ले अवार्ड फ्रॉम AITTI जो है इसके लिए 2 टीम संघर्ष कर रही है। और नसीब ऐसा बोलो कि एक टीम के कप्तान हमारे प्रेसिडेंट साहब है और दूसरे टीम के कप्तान हमारे सेक्रेटरी साहब है। और मैं खास करके हमारे नीलेश भाई कार्य जिन्होंने 13 टीम ये टूर्नामेंट ऑर्गेनाइज की है। बहुत ही जबरदस्त तरीके से और ऑलवेज न्यूट्रल गेम खेलते हैं और न्यूट्रल तरीके से वो टूर्नामेंट को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए प्रयत्न करते हैं और सब लोग उनका साथ भी देते हैं। कुछ थोड़ा बहुत इधर उधर होता है, इसको भूल जाकर हम लोग को वैसे ही क्रिकेट खेलना है। 2 शब्द मिले भाई से।
थैंक यू MPA फॉर गिविंग मी सच अपॉर्चुनिटी। मैं वैसे तो नहीं हूँ, खाली क्रिकेट में मैं MPA में आता हूँ, लेकिन सब लोग साथ खेलते ये देख के मज़ा आता है। और बस MPA आगे बढ़े, फोटोग्राफर्स आगे बढ़े। और
बस सभी मेंबर्स को थैंक यू कहूँगा क्योंकि आज का दिन सुबह से हम लोग एक्टिव था, लेकिन सब लोग ने अच्छे से खेला। बहुत अच्छी तरीके से ये टूर्नामेंट यहाँ तक पहुँची है। होपफुली ये फाइनल में बहुत अच्छा होगा। तो मैं द बेस्ट टीम पे थैंक यू।
We will win the game.
All the best, guys. Play fair. Thank you.
सजा किए गए नादी बड़ा झटका लगता हुआ पंकज हटना सुरक्षित रहे। बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छा शॉट रोहन की तरफ, रोहन ने आसानी से थ्रो करते हुए विकेट मिला है।
Out, out, out.
इस सीजन के चैंपियन है बहुत फिजिकल और एक बार फिर से अंकित जोशी इस मैच के विनर रहे हैं।
मैं आप सभी को बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। 25 इयर्स के सेलिब्रेशन में मुंबई फोटोग्राफर एसोसिएशन ने ये 16 कॉन्जिक्यूटिव कंटिन्यूस क्रिकेट टूर्नामेंट का आयोजन किया। उसके लिए सभी कमेटी मेंबर्स और सभी प्लेयर्स जितने भी अभी तक साथ सहकार दिया वो सभी को मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा। यहाँ से स्पेशली मैं यहाँ पर वेलकम करना चाहूँगा नीलेश भाई और जयेश भाई, AIPTA के कमेटी मेंबर्स हैं और AIPTA हमें छोटा भाई मानता है, तो बड़े भाई को हम यहाँ पर वेलकम कर रहे हैं। विपुल भाई MPA है तो उनके नए बस है जिन्होंने ये पार्टिसिपेशन किया और ये टूर्नामेंट बहुत अच्छी तरीके से हमने पूरा दिन एंजॉय किया। तो पहले तो मैं मेम्बर्स को थैंक यू बोलूँगा। मैं मेन टाइटल स्पॉन्सर थैंक यू कहूँगा क्योंकि उनके बिना ये टूर्नामेंट मुमकिन नहीं था। नीलेश कारिया जी जो इतने सालों से बहुत अच्छा कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे हैं, कोई स्वार्थ नहीं उनको, न उनको कभी इलेक्शन में खड़ा रहना है न हम खड़ा रखेंगे उनको, और ना ही तो कोई भी स्वार्थ के बगैर सवेरे से लेकर रात तक सामने से वो अपने आप सभी कैप्टन के साथ तालमेल के साथ और कमेटी के साथ ही आधा कमेटी का काम वो कर डालते हैं। थैंक यू नीलेश कारिया जी। स्पेशल थैंक्स टू चेतन भाई, केतन चारनिया और सभी कमेटी मेंबर। इन लोग ने सवेरे से लेके अभी तक यहाँ पर
रुके ना यहाँ पर, वो भी बहुत बड़ी बात है। मैं ये मौके के ऊपर हमारे ट्रस्टी उनको मैं कहूँगा 2 शब्द कहें, किरण भाई। सब लोग और फुल डे सबने एंजॉय किया, इसके लिए मैं सभी प्लेयर सभी कैप्टन को धन्यवाद बोलता हूँ। थैंक यू किरण भाई। और तो अतुल भाई ने बताया कि ये जो हमेशा आप क्रिकेट का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन करते हैं तो इससे एक तो आपस में भाईचारा बढ़ता है, जो हमारी सोच है, मेरी सोच है कि इससे भाईचारा बढ़ता है और थोड़ा जो फोटोग्राफर जो स्ट्रेस लेवल में रहता है आज की तारीख में तो थोड़ा रिलैक्स फील होता है। एमपीए जो पूरे साल भर के जो प्रोग्राम करते हैं उसमें का ये जो क्रिकेट टूर्नामेंट है ना, ये सबसे ज़्यादा एंटरटेनिंग प्रोग्राम होता है। तो थैंक यू एवरी कैप्टन, एवरी मेंबर एंड आइफ्टा फॉर सपोर्टिंग अस ऑलवेज। थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन। तो बहुत धन्यवाद एमपीए को जो इनिशिएटिव लेके इतना अच्छा कार्यक्रम किया। मेरी तरफ से हार्टी कॉन्ग्रेचुलेसन टू ईच एंड एवरी मेंबर एंड प्लीज कीप इट अप। थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू निमेश भाई। इन्होंने ज्यादा नहीं सिर्फ 145 रन किए। 6 ओवर का मैच और उसको 145 करना बोलेगा तो कांग्रेस।
So very well said. I think they've said it all, but I would just like to encounter this with one example. Who remembers Orkut? Orkut? Yeah. So I was on Orkut, right, when I was in school, and all my friends, my girlfriends were there on Orkut. Then Facebook came. Then I had to tell all my friends and to come on Facebook. Then, you know, in my college life, I enjoyed, you know, surfing on Facebook. Then when I started working, Instagram came. And this time I didn't ask my girlfriends because I had a wife. She's sitting there. So the crux is that, you know, with the technology, we always felt that it is very hard to shift to another thing, right? We always have find this thing very challenging to move on to the next technology or to the next advancement. But we need to realize that, you know, just to mention about photo editing and culling, you know, photo editing is likely to advance leaps and bounds with the integration of AI. This personally I believe. And I think if, like Sanjay said, if we doesn't match our pace with its pace, I think we are all going to lag behind. So all I feel is that this is never going to be replaceable. It's not something that will, you know, disrupt anything in terms of photography or anything, but it'll be a very useful thing. It'll be like, abhi maine ek ad dekhi thi, I saw an ad where a robot was cycling faster than humans. A robot was, you know, doing everything faster than humans. But there was a point when 4 friends were enjoying, laughing, giving high five to each other, and that robot was standing out looking disappointed and saying, I can't get these emotions. So it's all about emotions that we all photographers capture, and we need to be sure that, you know, AI can never do that so well. So yeah.
Yeah, I too agree with what Nitin said. Emotions is something which an AI can't do. That's what my take on it. But of course, there are certain areas. For example, how many of you are aware of a product called ChatGPT? Yeah, I think all of you guys are aware of it. So one good thing which I found with Chat, when one of the job which simplified is that, like, whenever I go to events and all, you will be taking photos and videos, right? And you have to post it in Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. But you should have a good content to post it, right? Yeah. For example, if you post it in LinkedIn, you should have a lengthy text for getting more engagement, right? So I always call my content person to give me the right content. Okay, so I have to actually take the video, then I'll send that video to her. So I'll give some sort of ideas to her, and she will take some 15 to 20 minutes, and she will come back with the right content, and I'll post it. Okay, this was what I was doing, I think, a few months back. Now with this chat GPT, I just need to tell how I used to tell to my person, and the chat GPT will give me the exact content. If you want it for LinkedIn, yeah, LinkedIn. Then if you want for Instagram, you get Instagram. So what I'm trying to tell is that there are certain areas where the AI is kind of replacing people. That's a fact. But when it comes to photography or creativity, I have a different take on it. For example, like a lot of photographers taking pictures with the burst mode, right? Like just to get one perfect moment, they will simply click the button and take a lot of photos, right? Of course, somebody have to decide which one is the best, right? Now, I think the photographers are not taking the effort to find the right picture, or if they have the right intention, they can simply click the right moment, right? But that's not happening nowadays. That's why there's a lot of photos, right? That's why the room for AI to come into this sector, to decide, because manually it's difficult to identify that particular photo, okay? So I think we are only creating space for AI to come into this, okay? Yeah, that's my take on it.
But on the same note, while you were giving the ChatGPT example, what if what you are writing and what if Harshit is writing is the same thing? It's going to give you the same answer. So how much is it really helping us, to be honest? How much of it is original? I mean, the minute you're inputting the data and you're getting the output, so you're going to get the same output. So is it really in the favor of mankind and our, I mean, we call ourselves creative artists. I mean, we are in the creative industry. So what do you have to say for this? I mean, anybody who wants to answer this?
Just on the ChatGPT, that whole thing. People who are not used to writing articles or speaking publicly, they expose themselves very easily. Yeah, sure. If the artist wants to expose themselves as a fraud, sure, they can use AI all day long and stay behind the scenes. But the moment they need to interface with real humans, right, then they have to find that balance. So it's how you use the tool.
It was morning. I was looking at another Facebook group yesterday for photography, and people are saying that, okay, there's a new tool that you can use to create blogs. I think it's existed for some while now, but it's specifically geared towards blogs. And then some people are like, oh, that's amazing. We can use this to just like ease our writing, because blog publishing is always a pain. You have to like write, like you have to cull, edit, write. So it's like so, but some other people are saying, oh, now everyone's blog will look the same. So it depends on how you perceive it. If you think that, okay, again, it's the same thing. If you think AI will do my job for me, then you're mistaken. And as Sanjay said, the AI way will work as a detergent for the industry. But if you understand that, hey, AI is here to just help me out and do the menial and like the manual and mundane process for me, it's perfect. There's a way for you to like earn 10 times as more as what you're earning by working 5 times less with the use of AI. It's how you use it. It's all about it.
So what do you think is the next thing that, I mean, it's not about what Aftershoot is doing or what any of these current brands are doing. Where can we take it? I mean, what other companies can be getting into the photography industry, filmmaking industry? What can be those kind of newer ideas?
I probably won't share that publicly because it's $1 million idea. But, no, honestly, I think a bunch of things can be done. I mean, it's very hard to think on my foot, but yeah, Sanjay, your ideas actually.
One thing that I would like them to add, because these guys are the founders of Pre-Magic and Aftershoot, and you guys are the experts of AI. You know, a lot of times this request comes to us from the brides that, you know, make me pair or remove my pimple or just cut out this flesh of mine from here. So we can do it in photos, but we can't do it in videos. So is there any technology which can do it in videos also? Because this is where we are majorly lacking, like we can do it in Lightroom.
But to what extent, I'm not sure, but it exists, like in form of filters and masks in Snapchat and TikTok. Because you see all those videos where like someone looks to the side and then there's a different like face mask that's over here, because, I mean, yeah, so it's definitely possible. Anything that's possible in images is possible in videos, because videos are a collection of images, essentially. So, yeah. Soon, Nitin, soon.
So Sanjay, what do you think our industry needs? I mean, what more?
Independently, before we even met, you know, maybe 2017 or something, I was sitting in our studio thinking about what our industry needs. And our industry needed AI. It needed something to color our images and edit our images. It needed something, you know, Harshit touched on it earlier on, to create. How many people here wish they had copies of themselves to do all the work that needs to be done? What do you think AI is? It's a clone of you. And that's how it should be seen. It's a tool. Okay? And these guys are doing it for us. So it's evolving at such a rapid pace. And the ideas that he and I have been discussing and debating is so exciting. You know, we actually spoke about the video side of things as well. Okay, no, but I'm not saying anything more. I'm not saying anything more. But, you know, it's what our industry needs now is acceptance. Is acceptance of this, because the possibilities are literally mind-blowing. Like, it really is. Everything that's possible, all of these things will coalesce into something that's so powerful for us. And ultimately, look, what is it you guys want? More time to spend with your families? More time to make money? More time to be creative? More time to hang out? More time to sleep? Whatever you want. Whatever you want. It's the tool, that's what it's there for. If you're going to resist this and say it's going to take away my job, then yeah, sure, it's going to take away your job. But it's your mindset that's always the key thing here. And I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about AI. There are different levels of AI in terms of intelligence and autonomy. The highest is level 5, which is the scariest. That's, who's seen Terminator? Yeah? That's Skynet, that's level 5. They gave it full autonomy to do whatever, it's gonna kill us. After shoot won't kill us. It'll cull for us. But at the highest level, we want it to get to like level 4.5, where it's not making all the decisions, it's capable of it. It's capable of doing the creative stuff. You know, that's what...
First of all, I would like to thank Love Sir and Team Capturing Wow for bringing such experienced people into this space. And my question is, as a photographer, AI is very good for us. It's culling, it's editing pictures. But how, as an editor, it is to us? As an editor, it is already editing the pictures. So a photographer won't need a person hired as an editor. So the AI is already doing its work. So how should an editor look at an AI?
Victor, I think this is best answered by you because you've been using after-shoot edits. And can you share experience to like, how's the experience like? Do you feel that you don't have to edit anything after it? How is the experience? Because I think that's the question what Ayush has. Yeah.
Should look at AI because AI is basically doing all its job.
So I'll have a small correction. So it's not doing all the job for you, right? Again, the creativity, as Sanjay and others have mentioned, it's still in your hands. If you want to give a creative angle to an image, the AI won't know it because that's still in your mind. What the AI is doing is you have done a specific set of edits for the past 2-3 years. It's just applying those to your images and giving you a very solid starting point. So that's what the AI does. Again, as Sanjay mentioned, it's not level 5, probably level 2.5 or 2 at the moment. So you have the control in your own hands.
So what we're trying to say, it's not replacing the editor. While you're saying what the editor will have to say, is he losing a job? So if you're a photography company owner, or if you're an editor working in a company, these tools are not taking away your job. It's reducing your time. So where today you would take 2 days to edit 1,000 pictures, you're going to do it in a jiffy. But yet you might have to do a finishing on it. I mean, that's what he's saying, right, Harshit? There is a refining a little bit personalization that you want to do for your picture. So an editor, it's not replacing the editor.
Hello everyone. So my question was something related to what this event is all about, that is networking. And why we all are here, because there is a level of trust. And I think that is going to get much affected. I would give 2 examples. When ChatGPT had just come out, it was my friend's birthday, and we, all of my friends in the group, decided that we would all individually send her a message. So I was just trying ChatGPT and I said, let's see what this can do. So I just typed in that she's my friend, I met her 2 years back. She's a really great dancer and stuff. Give me a birthday message. And what it wrote actually shocked me. It was so original. And when I sent it to her, she was just thanking me and stuff. But then I said to her, I felt bad that no, it's not written by me. It's something. But if someone does that, like if this trend becomes in general, there will really be trust issues. In the second example, as Sanjay sir said, that authenticity you can figure out, but AI is getting so much fine-tuned. There was a video which came out of an Amazon engine which was told to give an order for a pizza. And the employee at the pizza center wasn't able, the intonations and was so perfected that it wasn't able to figure out is that a real person or the AI talking to it. So when we go ahead, of course originality will go out of the picture somewhere, and these connections that we are about making over here, so how will we question the other person's originality, and how will we build that trust and friendships and connections? How will this get affected?
You have to ask yourself, can you live with yourself? Can you live with the guilt? Okay. Do you have a conscience? If you don't have a conscience, the AI is more organic than you are. Yeah? Okay. But I think you're right. You know, any tool can be abused. A car can be abused. Right? A screwdriver can be abused. An AI can be abused, but you have to decide whether you're going to allow yourself to do that. You know, we have to learn restraint with how we use these things. It's like the first time photographers discovered HDR, the HDR tool, we had the worst photographs on the planet. It was, people would just take a slider and go to maximum. And it didn't look like anything. I don't know what it was supposed to be, you know. So, and then people learn how to use it properly and become a bit more subtle with using clarity and all this sort of stuff. So it's a great question, but what that does is it calls to question how artificial we are or how humane we are.
You may not be able to. That is why the third question comes handy. Why are equipment expensive? They are expensive and you can't do anything about it. But there are people who make pictures with 100-400s, which is 1/10 the cost of the 600 mm. But you may not be able to produce magical images out of it, but you can still go and produce pictures. So yeah, that's about it. Two done. Safety wise, I have a kind of a slightly different opinion where I think I find wild really safe compared to I have more chances of getting killed by crossing the road here than in the wild, very honestly. And but we also have to realize it's a very fragile ecosystem. We are only looking at a threat from a larger species which has the potential to kill us, or a snake. Okay. But imagine every time we walk around, we are trampling God knows how many snails and ants and whatnot. Imagine their safety, right? They should be worried about saying, oh, these buggers, photographers coming into the wildlife, what happens to our safety? We're just trampling all away. We have no clue, right? We are talking about species that, for instance, I'll give you an example. We have a frog in our country, which is recorded and we know of only from one hill slope in the entire world. It's not found anywhere else on this planet, but that one hill slope. Now imagine we go about trampling that area, we are wearing gumboots, walking whatnot, and imagine there are only 2 of those frogs and we kill one of them. It's a possibility, right? I'm saying their safety is paramount when it comes to comparatively to ours, because we are talking only about safety from larger animals which has the potential to threaten us. And their senses are way brilliant than us. Yeah? When she said, by the time you could smell the elephant has already heard you. Yeah. It has sensed you already. So they will maintain that distance. They do not want to deal with you at all. So they will maintain the distance, and it's primarily extremely safe if you ask me, compared to city life. Of course, there are threats, there are risks that you willingly take when you step into the forest, but it's more or less safe. Yeah. Thank you guys. Anyone else, please? Yes, please.
Hello sir, I have been doing wildlife in the past 3 years. So as you said about the story, whenever I show my pictures to someone else, my main motive is to show them what I actually saw, the realistic picture. So now there are a few guys whom I follow on Instagram. Their images are magical, they get featured everywhere and they look really good. But when I see the post-processing done, they just change the background, the lighting or everything sort of that. That's not realistic. Now I can also do that to my child. I've done that to some of them which I've not posted it. Because I feel that that's not the true thing which I actually get. So the work actually gets featured, the magical work. But then what is this balance of the line drawn to be?
Sure. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's accept that photography is very subjective. It's ridiculously subjective, right? Whatever you say is magical, the word magical itself, visually, I might not find it magical, right? Need not. Right? I'm saying if someone chooses to post-process their image to an extent where it is not realistic, it's their wish. And it's the viewer's wish. I absolutely empathize with your feeling, because I've gone through that. But I've realized my wife used to like those pictures. And I was like, what? Are you serious? This is not real. She's like, oh, but there is a moon. But that moon is placed. That moon was not there. But so be it. It is visually a pleasant picture, right? You would, people carry props nowadays. People carry, like, I'll tell you, when I've been shooting frogs for donkey's years. And initially what we used to do is, if you'd see frogs only in the middle of the night, and you invariably get a black background because you're popping a flash. Now, how do I get a green background? I'd hold one big banana leaf in the background. Now, is it right? I don't know it is right or not, but I wanted a green background, right? When we used to shoot in films, I remember we did not have that kind of a white balance option at all. You did not have the white balance option back then in your film cameras. We would put your paper napkins, pink paper napkins, yellow paper napkins on the flash to have that kind of a light on the frog. If we want to enhance green, we would add green papers. So I don't know if that is okay or not, right? So all I'm trying to say is very subjective. You do what appeals to you. You like wildlife, you enjoy an X kind of photography, you stick only to that. Do not worry. That's my personal opinion. You don't have to. I'm saying, unfortunately, we've come to an era where we often say this: when the first camera manufacturer made the camera, whoever, he never in his wildest imagination knew that there will be a day where the final output is going to be Instagram. It was all about prints, right? You take a picture, you watch it, you show it to friends, and you feel good about it. Now your output, 99% of your photography output is Instagram. Let's accept it. It's not about your personal thing. So as long as you go back to your roots and say, hey, I enjoy taking pictures of wildlife, then you mull around, play in Photoshop, see if you can add. Someone genuinely asked me, how do I get a Pink Panther? I was like, we don't have Pink Panther. A client who had never been there. She was slightly slow, but evidently, but she was like, where do I get a Pink Panther? I was like, the option, and someone said, you can make it in Photoshop. I was like, don't, because you don't have Pink Panther. So people make yellow leopards black in Photoshop. I have known of people doing that, but it's up to them now again. I can't say it's right or wrong because most of the award guys do not accept it. Publication guys accept it because they may not know more about wildlife, but then that's the growth, so wait. That's my opinion.
Same. It's very subjective. So whether you like it or not, I mean, there are people who like it. The viewers are there to like it. So what I feel is that do it for your, your feeling, what you like to do. For me, I have been doing photography for bird photography itself for 14 years. What drives me? It's not the money, it's the passion. It's that fire in me which keeps on, okay, I need to see this bird means I will see this bird. There are certain birds which have tried years before I got a shot of it. So it's a process which, which you enjoy. So only I feel that you should only take it in that way, whether you enjoy it or not, or whether you want to portray that story in the way you felt. That is very important. It's like not anybody's story, or the way you felt it, the way you want to see that picture out there. I think that's what it is.
Maybe 2-3 pictures, and what was the approach when you saw the subject, and how did you saw?
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have any control over what picture can be displayed there.
Okay.
So it will be slightly tricky, sir. So if you have any other question, it will be... Yeah, please. Very sorry for that. Yeah?
It's a pleasure to meet both of you.
Thank you so much.
So from Navi Mumbai.
Okay.
I only seen you.
Right.
And to see you in flesh and blood.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being here, and it's a privilege. Now, question to Raghu, especially because he does a lot of these group tours.
Sachin.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Sachin.
I now know
Sachin,
your
right,
privilege.
yeah.
No.
Okay,
You only heard about her. You have not heard about me.
No, in fact, Sachin, the question is basically, you do a lot of these group tours.
Yes.
There's an expectation and a reality when you do these tours.
Correct.
How do you manage this?
Right. Thank you so much. So, firstly, it is very tricky. And now I realize that half my clients have started doing tours. Everyone who has a camera is doing a tour. So it's a very easy domain to be in because I realize that wildlife, as I said, it's about passion, right? How passionately that guy explains things to you. Forget about photography, the wildlife itself, which is what happens in our domain also. When you go to an ex-tiger reserve, you end up buying a permit online, or your hotel has done it, and you sit with a guide and he takes you around. The guide takes you to a water body and says, sir, यहाँ tiger आया था कल, आज भी आ सकता है. And you say, कल आया था, आज आएगा. You have no idea, right? You stay there. Now in 2 hours, if the tiger comes, you think is the best ever guide, right? Best ever. But he was only saving his fuel. He did not want to drive around anywhere. That is what he was doing, right? But for now, you are going to come back and tell the world saying, boss, please go with that guy. He is the best ever. So everyone has a market to lead a tour, and every client has the opportunity to go and learn from any Tom, Dick and Harry. The opportunity to learn. Now, unfortunately, what you're learning may vary dramatically between someone who's been there only once and someone who's been there 20,000 times. Simple as that. Because the biggest difference is, what are they coming to learn for? They're coming there to learn photography from you, then my photography has to be secondary. I can't be parking the car in a place where I have the best ever angle and like, boss, mil raha hai kya? And I'm firing away. Mil raha hai na aap logo, mil raha hai and I'm firing away. Okay, I'm saying aperture itna, but they can't freaking see the animal only, right? So that varies. So most of the client, thankfully, we come from the most populated country in the world, man. We have enough and more scope out there. So thankfully there are people who will put their trust in you, travel with you once, and then it is again about connect. I deal with 100 ex-clients. There will be some clients who will not get along with me. They will not. It is not about photography, it's not about wildlife. They just don't like me. The vibe itself is not there. And it's mutual. Most of the time it is mutual. It's like, okay, one trip and it's done. So it's okay. But otherwise, it's kind of okay because you know at the core, no, they like to see wildlife. And if they like to experience stories, a very simple story. I don't know if you know that when you go to a wildlife place and if you see a tiger, in India, it is very tricky because we live in a dense forest area, most of the areas that you go to. And you track the tiger by either the pug mark, so you know the tiger has gone here, or the animals around will help you, not at the intention of helping you, they will give an alarm call, which means they shout out loudly saying, oh, there's a tiger. In their language, we don't understand, we are assuming that is what they're shouting. Now, those are called alarm calls. A monkey will shout out, a deer will shout out, and that is how you predict, oh, the tiger is somewhere here, you look in that direction and you might see it. Now, these are behaviors that science cannot define. How do you know and why do you think the deer is calling out? So people say, we believed in this theory for donkey's years that deers call out so that they can tell the other deers that there is a tiger around. Fair enough. What if I pick that deer and put him in an island? Now he knows he's alone. And there is a tiger. Will he call out? Yes, he will call out. Why? Instinct, maybe. Now I'm saying it leaves so much room for us to speculate and debate and discuss that it is intellectually stimulating because it's behavior. So now we've come to believe that it is a possibility that these animals give out an alarm call to tell the predator saying, I'm seeing you, now you can't do jack shit. Because for our predators in our country, it is all about stalking. They hide, they go closer, they hide, they go closer, and then they jump and catch. They're not chasers, they're not wolves, they're not cheetahs who will go after it, you run, I'll bloody outrun you and catch you. Ours are, they hide, they let you come and then jump. Now the moment his cover is blown, they will always get up and walk off. Always. So I'm saying now this discussion was cool, no? Between you and me. So I'm saying when clients come and they come with the agenda of wanting to learn these things, then the photography has a story along with it. So when you take a picture of a deer and a tiger both, you have a story saying this also could be the reason, right? So that way it's kind of easy to deal with clients because most of the clients come with the notion to want to enjoy, experience wildlife and learn about photography. Then it's a win-win for us. Yeah, it's very cool for us. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, to add to that, so people like me, like we go with good, tour guides, right? So when I go with people like Sachin, it's like, I have never traveled per se with him, but I collect a lot of information when I go for a tour. Why? For me, information is very important. So when I talk to the tour guide or the naturalist, whoever it is, I'm looking for the information. I'm not looking for like 100% surety of any sighting, but information and the skill or the kind of the way they explain to us. So when I went to Madagascar, it was Sachin's tour. He arranged it for us. But very few people go there for birds. But for me, he collected a lot of information, and that was very valuable for me, and I could go there and work it for myself. So this is how. So you always choose, from a client point of view. For me, I always choose people who can really, really give solid information rather than just fake. They sometimes just say that, oh, this you will get, oh, you will get, oh milega. So many times they will say. So from there, the way they talk to you, you can judge after you've been in the field for like 10, 12 years or maybe like 5, 6 years. You can really understand the depth of their knowledge. So that for people like me, that is the driving force to choose whether I go with Sachin again or with someone else, from a client point of view. Yeah, thanks.
How does one prepare for a tour? Because you are going to say to Ranthambore or Kaziranga or a Bandhavgarh.
Sure.
How as a photographer should
As in a client or me?
No, as a client.
You?
Yeah.
Oh, you just have to hire a lens or buy a lens and come along. That's about it. Very honestly, that is about it. See, which is what I reiterate again. If you are passionate about wildlife photography, one of the downsides today, as this young boy said, that most of us, okay, who are interested in wildlife photography are only coming with an agenda that I want a tiger's picture, I want him yawning, I want him catching an animal, and I want a picture which I can post on Instagram. This will create issues. This will create disappointment. It will. If you come with an agenda saying, okay, tell me the difference between a frog and a toad on a tiger tour, then you will learn lots more. Because otherwise, I genuinely don't want you to bring anything else apart from your camera and willingness to learn. If you come with an agenda saying, oh, Bandhavgarh, tiger to dikhna hi hai, it's impossible, boss. It's impossible. No one on this planet. I have the entire family chart like any other soap opera, not kidding, of the tigers of the tourism zone of Bandhavgarh since 2003. Every single tiger, whose father, whose mother, whose aunt, whose uncle, who slept with whom, whose where, whose child, I can tell you everything about the family. But I can't guarantee a tiger. I cannot. But I can tell you these stories when we see one. When I see a tiger, I can tell you this is the one, this is what it is, this is how old the cubs are, this was her mother, this was her father was from this family, her mother was... So from you, the only expectation is willingness to listen to me. That's all. Otherwise, I don't want anything else. Because it's illogical, you don't know anything about wildlife. Why should you come with an agenda of wanting to produce anything? Because wildlife is a domain where you cannot go with a plan. You just cannot. Even when people, like I do these tours to Russia, Far East Russia, I'm going again in September. It's a place called Kamchatka. It's a remote place. You go in a chopper, you're dropped off in an isolated area. You stay there for 3 days, no network, no nothing. You carry your food with you. You bring back everything, including your used cigarette butt. Everything is got back because it's a pristine area. You know, people see reference pictures and say, Sachin, I want a picture of the bear jumping head on, catching a salmon. Now it is a possibility, but I can't guarantee. You just can't. So people will say, should I carry a 400 mm or a 500 or a 600?
You guys are familiar with online galleries. For those who are not familiar with online gallery, this is very simple. You can upload an entire pictures to platform, and platform will generate an online album for you, which can be shared to your client, and they can share with their relatives, friends, and the chances for you to get more referral leads from it is very high. Okay, just think the way where you share photos in a hard disk or a WhatsApp or a Google Drive, right? So that remains there. Like it's a weird link if it is Google Drive or a weird WeTransfer link, right? Nobody wants to share it. Even if you open it, there are kind of some issues and all those problems are right. So I'll show you one of the album, what an online gallery is. Yeah, so this is how an online gallery will open in the mobile phone. So you'll get as a link, and once you open it, you can show your brand over here. Thinking how to, is there a way to actually monetize the online galleries? I mean, we use online gallery to present the photos along with our brand. So the presentation part is solved. That is one of the major reasons we are using online galleries, right? Now I'm saying you will get online leads also, where the entire features of PreMagic is tailored for that. How to get a referral lead from your online gallery. Now the third thing which we were working was how to monetize also. Okay, so this is the topic, how to monetize your online gallery. Okay, next slide. Rahul, next slide. So like I said, we started almost 4 years back. Now we are a platform containing 10,000 photographers using PlayMagic in India and globally. And every month, the photographers are creating close to 4,000 plus events on our platform. Okay, and 4,000 albums are getting created in our platform, and till date we have scanned almost 15 million photographs, and 230 million photographs have been shared. Okay, so we have a lot of data to actually work on it. And now just the next slide. So again, switching to the topic, like how to actually monetize your online app. So how many have seen this this data somewhere in the internet? Okay. So this data is actually done, I think it released last year. Okay, so this is like we are, as a wedding photographer, our market share is only 3%. Like for example, if a wedding is happening with 1 crore or something, what is the package of the photographer typically? Yeah, between 2 to 3 lakh, right? So a wedding is happening for an amount of 1 crore. And our market share is only 3%. That's something concerning, right? Have you ever thought of this? Yeah. So where does the other 97% goes? The major chunk goes to the venue, catering, then comes gifts. This is the split. Okay. Fine. So this is a reality. We own only 3% of the market share as a wedding photographer. Okay. Now just go back to. So yeah. 3%. Now, the sad reality, is that 97% of the vendors which I showed, right, they need our content to market their product, right? We get only 3%, but 97% of the vendors require our photos to market their brand and product, right? But we are not able to monetize it, correct? Now, clients also want their photos online. So when I speak to the client, they really want the photos online forever, okay? And we are not getting enough market share. The 97% of the people market their product with our content, okay? So that's where the context of how, can we generate any extra revenue or income, even if it is small, apart from our standard package, whatever we are offering as a package. Is there a way to actually get or generate something extra from apart from the package? So that's the whole conversation is about. So we are actually we came up with something. The next slide. Next slide. Yeah. No. The before slide. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, in our album, you can set a default validity time. It can be 1 year or it can be 6 months. Okay. Now what will happen is, after the validity time is over, the album will automatically go to an expired mode. Okay. Now the client, maybe they will come back at the anniversary time or that time after 1 year. If they come back, they won't be able to access the album because you set an expiry of 6 months or 1 year or whatever it is. Okay. Please close it, no? Okay. Yeah. Yep, perfect. No, it's not happening. Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell here is that the album will say to expire, and the client can come to this link and they can actually pay online onto the album, and they can only extend the validity. Okay. And you will receive a commission out of it. So what I'm trying to tell here is, whatever albums we are creating, the moment we put an expiry date on it, okay, more clients will come to this and they will actually try to renew this, and once that renewal happens, this is kind of a subscription revenue for the photographer. Like, how many got the point? Because I got a lot of confusions in between, like switching the slide and all these stuff. You got the idea. Like, anyway, we are sharing a link to the client, right? Yeah, so better set an expiry date on it. It can be 6 months or 1 year, and let the client, if they really wanted to retain it, let them renew the album, and we will get a subscription money out of it. Okay. So at present, just because we are introducing it as a new feature, we are just putting only 350 rupees for 1 year for the album to renew. Okay. Now, as per the data, what we found is people or the end client are okay even if it is raises to 800 or even 1000 rupees, because we have seen people upgrading for 5 years. Okay. So I can show you our data also, because the moment I started telling about it, people were telling me no one is going to pay. The client won't do it and all this stuff. So I'll just show you the exact data. So these are you can see these 359 payments, right? So these are the payment we collected in Jan month alone. This much people actually renewed their album. You can see in between some 1799. We said they actually did it for 5 years. They renewed it for 5 years. Okay. So this much gallery upsell happened in Jan month alone, and we are seeing an exponential rise in Feb month. Okay. These are all the data. So I'm literally showing you the data to give a proof that the gallery upsell is happening and client is okay to pay for their photos if you set an expiry date. Okay. So now, like I said, we're just putting 350 rupees, but now we are coming up with an option where you can set the fee. You can set your own fee because you know the capacity of the client, right? So there will be a basic charge which Premagic will be taking for the storage, but you can put your own markup fee on top of that. Okay. So the idea here is that the more the number of albums you create or the galleries you create, more the subscription revenue. At present it will be very less, but I'm sure it will keep on increasing. So this is like maybe a 5,000 or 10,000 rupee you'll be getting every month just because of just because of your galleries. Okay, so this is one golden opportunity. So I really recommend all of you just try it out. I mean, you can actually visit a stall and try the Premagic product and create galleries and try it out like on your own. Okay. Now this is one thing which is live, and can you move to the next slide? Yeah, okay, or else you can actually speak to some of the photographers here who are already using it. So I think these people are already here. Okay, so you can actually get their feedback how they are actually leveraging this platform to make an extra revenue and all this stuff. Okay, so this is one thing which is live in Premagic where you can use. Okay, and remember, don't delete also. Like there is a practice of actually creating the galleries and deleting it because you would have limited storage, right? Like you will be having 100 GB storage, or so people tend to delete the old galleries and create it. But don't delete it because this is a recurring revenue for you, right? So this is one thing. Another thing I wanted to ask you is that we have plans to actually wear a photographer. Again, we will come up with a feature where the product will tag the brands involved in it. For example, the jewelry or the clothing. Okay. So we are actually planning to put give a feature to the photographer to place the brands also in the album in a very subtle way. They won't feel it as an ad or something. Okay, like in Instagram, we are anyway collabing, right? We are mentioning the brands involved, the makeup artist or the clothing, jewelry. For example, this particular picture, one of my photographer told me when he posted this picture in Instagram, he got at least 20 messages asking where she got this, thinking is there a way to actually monetize the online galleries? I mean, we use online gallery to present the photos along with our brand. So the presentation part is solved. That is one of the major reasons we are using online galleries, right? Now I'm saying we will get online leads also, where the entire features of Premagic is tailored for that. How to get a referral lead from your online gallery. Now the third thing which we were working was how to monetize also. Okay, so this is the topic, how to monetize your online gallery. Okay, next slide. Now, next slide. So like I said, we started almost 4 years back. Now we are a platform containing 10,000 photographers using Premagic. The same day next year, you will start making revenue out of it. You got the idea, because it is fair, I wanted to assert it again and again. You got a fair understanding, right? That's the whole purpose of this conversation. Any doubts or questions? Yeah, please.
Hi, my name is Vandana. I'm not a wedding photographer, but I do small events, and people ask me to put up a gallery, and the expiry never works for them. Even if I told them, okay, after 15 days I'll delete the data, please download it. So your idea is really good, but how much pre-magic charges for it? Is it percentage wise? You said we can put our cost,
At present,
price,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But then how would we be paying to pre-magic?
So pre-magic, you can take it as a subscription. We have plans starting from I think 1,600 per month up to 1,50,000 a year. So there are different plans in pre-magic, which you can take it and use it. Okay. But the percentage part, currently we are giving 50% of whatever we are collecting, just to increase this practice. Okay. Now the latest stage, you can put your own markup fee. That is the idea. You will know the capacity of your client, right? So you can put your own amount and yeah, you can actually collect.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. If I put like 1,000 rupees, so how much from that 1,000 rupees will go
1,000
to?
rupees you will get, because we will actually put our storage cost, which is 350 or 400, whatever it is, depending upon the number of photos. On top of it, you can put your amount, and that you will get out of it.
Okay, understood.
That is the idea.
Thank you.
Okay, and it's very open. You can share feedback with us, because we are here mainly because of the feedbacks we got. I'm not at all a person related to wedding photography 4 years before. Just because I had some issues in my with my wedding photographer in terms of getting the photos, I actually jumped into it. I'm a software engineer by profession, and now I started talking to a lot of photographers and get all this idea, the data. Now my mission is to actually help the photographers generate more revenue apart from the package which they're having. So all feedbacks are welcome. I really want it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other?
So I think let's get started finally. When I see tomorrow is the day when we are starting with this boot camp. So date aati hai speak pe. So I hope it was worth giving a 5-minute breather to your head. Otherwise, a lot of more information coming in. I thought before another interesting session starts, थोड़ा लोगों को space दे. So we're going to get people inside. Let me start introducing our panel. By the way, one of the people will fill into the room. So are we ready for the next panel? Are we ready? Yes or loudly? Yes. अच्छा चलो आप थोड़ा आगे आ जाओ. आगे वाली सीट सब लोग बैग एक्चुअली लोग रिजर्व करेंगे अपनी कुर्सियाँ. सब रिजर्व करेंगे कुर्सियाँ. पहले बैग सब हटा दो, जो पहले बैठे उनको बिठा दो आगे. You can come ahead. Come. आप लोग आगे आ जाओ. अरे बैक बेंचेस नहीं, बद्रीश भाई आप आगे आ जाओ. इधर फर्स्ट रो में, सेकंड रो में तो जगह, आप लोग आगे आइए. So coming up next is a panel discussion जो अभी हम शुरुआत करेंगे. Let's introduce the speakers of the panel. We have somebody जिनको 30 साल से भी ज़्यादा printing industry का knowledge है. Printing, I call him the genius in the print industry. आज बॉम्बे में एक प्रेस रही है जो बहुत साल पहले शुरू हुई थी. And I think everybody knows him. Today he runs his own brand as Fine Art. So let's welcome Mr. Achal Jain on the house. The kind of knowledge he has is brilliant. So let's welcome Achal Jain on the house. अभी वो पहले किस कंपनी में थे, अभी वो स्टेज पर उस कंपनी का नाम नहीं लूँगा, बट पूरा इंडिया जानता है कि भाई आज प्रिंट्स बना के मतलब कमर्शियल जॉब कोई करे तो पीपल कॉल हिम. आज कोई वेडिंग बुक करे तो पीपल कॉल हिम. सो यस, ही इज बीन द पायोनियर in the print industry over here, servicing every other photographer and giving them good quality books. So, and whatever आप बाहर ये जो gallery देखते हैं, the whole gallery is being printed at Fine Art. So that's Achal Jain for all you guys.
Hi, good afternoon. My introduction is very, very small. You would be surprised. Professionally, I'm a chartered accountant. I have spent throughout my life in printing, right from when we had the small rolls which we were processing till now. So I have never used my qualification anywhere. Everyone knows that I am connected with the printing industry. So for last almost 37 years, I have seen the journey in the printing of photographers, of printers, and we have seen how the printing has evolved, how the requirement of printing has come up, and what printing can do in the life of our branding, growing our business, growing our personalities, and growing overall, a printing is a very important part. I'm not saying that we are connected with the printing. I have seen, a lot of people have seen during the lockdown, the newspaper was not coming at home, you know. And like every day we wake up, we wanted to see that newspaper wala aaya kya? Because we wanted to read. Reading is the very biggest habit. It is very difficult to read for hours on a digital media. So any books we want to read, we can't, like, if I see on the screen, your eyes start, you know, you feel, you know, let me just keep it for some time. But if it's a book, you can, it's the same thing, it happens with the images. When I see the image on a digital media, I don't connect. Emotionally, I am not able to connect myself. Our client is not able to connect ourselves when we are seeing the, but when we see the image, like I have seen many of the, you know, wedding books and all this. Of course, I am not directly connected with the consumers who effectively get the book and their reaction, but some of my relatives, some of my friends, when I send them a book, you know, if they have traveled or they have a small functions, they send some images. You won't believe the kind of the response we get. You know, it's amazing. And they say that why we did not printed it earlier, you know. The recently example, one couple has gone the Africa tour, and they came, and somebody, you know, from our industry gave my reference. And when he called me, Achal, we wanted to make a coffee table book for my son, and my daughter-in-law went, and I wanted to give him a gift. And when I was talking, fortunately that guy happened to be a chartered accountant. Then, you know, we connected so well, and we made that book. You won't believe the kind of the appreciation he gave, kind of the written information he sent to the people. He says, like, it's not a book, it's a kind of souvenir for me, which I'll keep it for a lifetime. So this is the power of the printing. I'm not saying that digital media is bad. Digital media also has given a mileage. You know, it has given us the mileage. If Achal Jain is standing here with the digital media, the world will know. But in the printing, is very difficult for it to circulate to the people. So it works within the regional, within the smaller town or a smaller area. So, but that archiving of those memories are very, very important. Okay. So, I think we have got a big session. We will be talking more, and let's give a lot of questions to be answered if we can do it. Thank you.
Chalo, perfect. So we have more panelists joining, but I totally agree to what Achalji said, because of course we've got this book printed just because I think within a mobile mein schedule dekh ke main thak ja raha tha. So I totally second what he said, that you want to have prints in hand. I think it does make life easier, even if it's a live event like this. So yes, that's why we are doing live print. So let's welcome the next panelist coming up. Please, Betty. So that's another person who's got 36 years plus experience in this industry. So he's a marketing professional and somebody who's been known in the imaging industry. Welcome, Mr. Vimal. So that's Vimal Parmar for all of you people. And this entire title, Why Print, is inspired by him. He's the man who talks about why print. So we give the credit of why print to him. So welcome.
Hi, my name is Vimal Parmar. Thank you so much for having me here. We'll talk during the panel discussion. I've been, right from 1983 onwards, I've been in this industry, helping photographers, helping printers, wherever I can add some value. Lovely meeting you all.
So with that, let's welcome a third generation photographer. I always love introducing this man because he represents at least 20 brands in our country today. But here he's not representing any brand, he's representing himself, who's a third generation photographer. That's my dear friend Ish Diwan. He's somebody who can talk on any topic. So that's Ish for all of you. But just a formal introduction that आज हम लोग जो lights use करते हैं, whether it is Godax or any of these brands. So Ish is the man behind Nikita Distributors. So hi Ish, welcome.
Thanks guys for having me here. Thanks.
So with that, let's welcome Sanjay Jogia back on stage. He was here this morning, and I know you guys have already met him and you heard him, but because I thought why print is something that we last minute we said, okay, we can't do this session without Sanjay because he's another advocate who advocates printing. So, you know, I've tried finding all the people who really talk that print is important, and I think that's a little change I want to bring out here. So we've got Sanjay joining us again on this topic.
Thanks for having me. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting discussion.
So, since now we've got all our panelists, I'm going to jump in the center. So I'm going to be here, and let's start. I mean, why print? So Sanjay, what's your bit when this topic comes? Why print? What do you think and what comes to your mind?
There are a number of answers to that. Yeah, so I grew up shooting with film. And when you shoot with film, the final result is only really visible with print. There's no screen on the back of the camera, there's no delete button. You have to take it to the lab, you have to develop the film. And that's the first time we actually see the print. That's the first time we get to see the image in the first place. And with the digital technology and the whole digital world now, it's become about speed. It was always about speed, but the thing is, the whole purpose behind digital photography was to speed up the entire process, speed up the capture, speed up the image development, speed up the printing. What happened was everyone got so hung up with the image capture and the image development, they forgot about the printing. And printing is it's a legacy. You know, it creates history. Has anyone been to see the gallery of all the images? Yeah. Would that be possible without printing? Right. And there's a certain kudos and prestige attached to having your work hanging in a gallery. Yes. And it's not possible without printing. That's just one example of many we'll be discussing.
Perfect. So let's move to Ish. What do you say when we say why print?
So again, I started with film photography. See, print is more of a validation for me. Digital image is a very fleeting image, it keeps changing. Print is something that takes time to develop. Then it has a little longevity which your digital images don't have. And even if you look at media, whether it is newspapers, whether it is like online newspapers, a lot of content is there online, but the most validated content is print. You'll have multiple stories online, but very few stories make it to print. So finally, for me, print always has a higher place.
So Vimalji, your words for why print?
Why not print? How many of you all have lost images? Tell me, digital images. Raise your hands, please. That answers the reason why you need to print. I tell people that, well, one thing is, if a photo images are good, it belongs on print and not on a mobile or a tab. I mean, only people who are afraid of failures don't print. Print is brutal. Print hitbacks if the exposure is not right, whatever. If it's not right, print shouts, yells at you, guy, you aren't doing a good job. So only photographers who are, afraid of failure, they don't print. Print is brutal. The other way, do you guys want to make money, extra revenue? You better print. If you say, no, I don't want to print, I don't want to earn extra money, but I want to be a fine art photographer, only exhibition, that's also, print is my visiting card, I wouldn't like to read, this is what it says. That's my visiting card.
So, can I read this for everybody? So that's the visiting card which says, why print photographs? So digital files are prone to damage and may get lost over the years. Storage technology changes over time. Print breaks through the digital clutter. A good print separates a professional photographer from an amateur. A printed image being taglined completes an assignment in a more noteworthy way. Print is the final destination of a good photograph. Print is for the next generation. I'm loving it. I'm smiling. I mean, every time I'm reading a line, I'm like, oh my God, okay. I mean, I'm like, I want to soak it in. I want to soak it in. So I think it's so well put up. Printed photographs last for more than 100 years. Print is engaging and stimulates a strong emotional response. I totally agree. So, children, grandparents and elders in the family love physical photographs over a digital version. Prints make a great wall decor. Print is no more just ink on paper. Print generates additional revenue for professional photographers. Print supports the entire photography industry apart from hugely benefiting the end consumer. I think this is like summary of the session is already printed here. Like, I mean, while reading this, I'm saying, why have we done this session? We should have just distributed this visiting card to everybody.
Nothing like me, nothing like me.
So, perfect. This is so well put. Everybody, you must, I mean, I don't know how many copies is he carrying. Are you carrying enough copies for everyone?
You follow me on Instagram, today's post is it's Vimal Parmar. It's Vimal Parmar. I mean, I have only a few copies. You can take photograph, mail, you can. I've got copies, but you see, how many can I carry? So, thank you for having me here. Thank you.
So, Achal, do you want to add something to this before we change the dynamic of the conversation?
No, I only says initially what I have said, that prints, your photography is unfinished if it is not printed. That's my line.
Awesome. So let's move the conversation a little bit from white print to black and whites. So I think both of you he's also been a photographer and you also print your own pictures. So what's your take between color and black and white? So can we move it in that direction?
Stylistic decision with phrase. I can't remember who said it, but the phrase is something like a color photograph shows off your clothes and a black and white photograph shows off your soul. And normally, because there's certain power to the moment, you know, that decisive moment in a PJ photo, allows us to focus on the eyes, the expressions, the emotion, the connection across the image, and we form our own connection to that image, to that Nick Ut of the Napalm Girl. Do we know this? If you don't know this, look it up. That image is burned into my memory. Just the trauma on the girl's face. And you're just drawn into that. If that was a color photograph, it still would have been powerful, but it would have been very different in nature, I think. So, you know, that one photograph really revealed to me what the power of photography is, but just the black and white nature of that particular image as well. So if you don't know it, look it up.
So I can bring two perspectives. So black and white and color, finally everything is about contrast. So one is black and white contrast, the other is color contrast. So two colors side by side could be contrasting hues, will give you contrast. It's a challenge for a lot of photographers.
AMV न्यूज़ का ये एपिसोड आपको कैसा लगा वो आप ज़रूर से इसमें लाइक कर सकते हैं। आपको पसंद पड़ा तो आप आपके बिजनेस सर्कल्स में भी शेयर कर सकते हैं और आप ज़रूर से सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल आइकन ज़रूर से दबाइए, क्योंकि अभी नए बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स आपको AIBTI एग्जीबिशंस में भी मिलेंगे और AMV न्यूज़ में भी आपको देखने मिलेंगे बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स की इन्फॉर्मेशंस। तो आपको हमारा पुराना वीडियो देखना है तो आप स्क्रीन पर क्लिक करें और फ़ोटो वीडियो रिलेटेड इन्फॉर्मेशंस आपकी भी शेयर कर सकते हैं ऑन 9223392434 पे और ईमेल कीजिए info.amvnews@gmail.com पर। फिर मुलाकात होगी AMV न्यूज़ में अगले एपिसोड में। धन्यवाद।